Well, it has been a big political week, from the inauguration to a deal on the debt ceiling to the president naming a new chief of staff. But we wanted to focus on a few others that really caught our attention. First, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on Capitol Hill. She was testifying about the attack in Benghazi that left 4 Americans dead. Now, at one point, Clinton angrily snapped at Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson, who wanted to know why the exact origin of the attack should have been revealed much earlier.
What difference at this point does it make? It is our job to figure out what happened and do everything we can to prevent it from ever happening again, Senator.
Joining me now, as they do every week, CNN contributor Maria Cardona and Amy Holmes, the anchor of Real News on the Blaze. Full disclosure here, Maria, you used to work for Hillary Clinton. So
That's right.
let me ask you, are you proud of your former boss?
She did an amazing job, Randy. It was vintage Hillary Clinton. Look, her performance this week, it was so many things. She was unequivocal in taking responsibility for what happened, which was absolutely the right thing to do and something she did from the very first, from the get-go. She was deft in deflection of questions that had been asked and answered. She was fierce in confrontation of those senators, like the clip that we just saw, who were blatantly political in the face of the deaths of 4 Americans. And she showed raw emotion when she talked about having to meet the caskets and the families of the 4 fallen patriots. I think she comes out of this, if it's possible, perhaps even more popular than she was going into it.
All right, let's look at the flip side of that now with Amy. You've been an outspoken critic of the way the administration handled Benghazi. Were you satisfied with what you heard from Hillary Clinton?
Well, I agree with Maria that it was vintage Hillary Clinton. It was full of contradiction. On the one hand, she says she takes full responsibility, but then later, in questioning with Senator Rand Paul, she said that in fact the report said that only assistant secretaries and on down bear responsibility. It was contradictory when it came to actual foreign policy. And the question, what difference does it make? It makes a difference if the attackers were local falafel vendors hiding their rocket-propelled grenade launchers in the hummus, or if they were international terrorists who have now been popping up in Algeria in that hostage situation where 3 Americans were killed. Clearly, to understand what happened, how to prevent it, and bring the perpetrators to justice, it makes a difference.
All right, falafel and hummus. I like how you worked that in. This week marked the 40th anniversary of the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision. An interesting backdrop, certainly, for a new bill proposed in New Mexico, where a Republican state lawmaker wants a law that would punish a rape victim if she becomes pregnant from the attack and then has an abortion. She would be charged with tampering with evidence. So let me get your take on this one, Amy. I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah, I looked at this story. It was so strange, and I did a bit more research. And in fact, that lawmaker, a female lawmaker, I should underscore, she said that that was very misinterpreted. And in fact, she has changed the language of the legislation that she's introducing there in New Mexico. And from what I can understand, her intent was to punish sex abusers who coerce their victims into getting an abortion to cover up their crimes. Now, I don't know if this is because it was an issue that was brought to her by a constituent, or it was an episode she saw in Law and Order. I don't know. I don't live in New Mexico. But I think leaping all over her to disparage her, pillory her, and villainize her is really not the way that pro-choice activists should go about this. And I happen to be pro-choice myself. I think understanding where she was coming from was a lot more important.
Maria, your take?
Really, GOP? I mean, come on. I think I just need to give this lawmaker, woman, Republican, a bit of advice. Get the memo of Governor Bobby Jindal's speech to the Republican Party this past week. Stop being the stupid party. This is unbelievable that she would have introduced this bill in the wake of what happened, the shellacking that the Republican Party took in this last year's elections. President Obama, fully reelected. I know Republicans love to say that American voters reelected the House of Representatives majority Republican, but what they don't disclose is that the Democrats actually received 3 million more votes in the House than Republicans did. So I think that she needs to really go back and take a look at what her motives are, what she wants to do in terms of the future of the Republican Party, and really understand what this bill means from a substantive standpoint. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Let me get to this last one because it's a goodie. Facebook chief Mark Zuckerberg getting political, going to hold a fundraiser for New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who's running for re-election. Is this the best guy you could have in your corner? Amy?
I think it always is great to have a person worth $10 billion in your corner raising money for you. And let's remember, Mark Zuckerberg was also a supporter of President Obama. So what's interesting here is the way he seems to be perhaps sort of a post-partisan, young, politically engaged young man. He's only, what, 28 years old at this point. So, you know, I watch The Social Network. You know, what can I say? Mark Zuckerberg, he might not be the most charming guy, but he certainly has deep pockets.
Having grown up in New Jersey myself, I know the holy trinity of what Chris Christie needs, and all you need is you got Bruce Springsteen, you have a little Jon Stewart maybe perhaps, and Bon Jovi. Who needs Zuckerberg when you got these three guys, right, Maria?
Well, you know what, though? I agree with Amy. When you have somebody in your corner that's worth billions of dollars, it's not a bad thing. And
But he's not New Jersey.
But you know what? I think it bodes well for the future of bipartisanship, Randy, because yes, Mark Zuckerberg, you know, has supported Democrats, supported President Obama, but I also think it shows Chris Christie and what an interesting Republican he is, and we'll see what happens moving forward. A lot of talk about him in 2016. I know that he's, you know, made some people mad on the Republican Party on their side, but again, it could be a roadmap for how the Republicans become relevant again.
All right, maybe we'll expand the Holy Trinity. We'll see. We'll see.
There you go.
Thank you both. Great to see you as always, Maria Cardona
Thanks so
and
much,
Amy
Randy.
Holmes. Have a great Saturday.
Thanks, Randy.
You too.